Hello and welcome to the Service Professionals Podcast. I'm your host, Carissa, and with me today is our guest, Vanelis Ortiz Martinez. Vanelis is an account manager at Aireko Services in Puerto Rico and is also the winner of the SP Group 2022 Maintenance Sales Award. Thank you for joining me today, Vanelis.
Thank you, Carissa, for inviting me and for letting me share with you and your audience the sales experiences that I had.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm going to start by saying congratulations on winning the Maintenance Sales Award.
Thank you. Thank you.
For our listeners who may not be aware, SP Group presents awards every year at our annual Leads Conference. And this past year, Vanelis was awarded the Top Maintenance Sales Representative Award. She achieved this by bringing in a total of $577,912 in HVAC maintenance contracts. And Vanelis just let me know that that's the contest because it runs from January to June. That's what she had sold. But for the total sales for the year, she brought in over $1.2 million in maintenance contracts, which is amazing. So congratulations.
Thank you again.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm not sure that all of our listeners fully understand the amount of work and effort that goes into this kind of an accomplishment. But it's a huge accomplishment. $1.2 million is a lot of raw maintenance dollars to be sold within a calendar year. So what have you implemented in your sales process this year that you think led to your overall success?
For me and for ASI, it was a very great year. But for me, that first quarter started very slow for me at the beginning because I have many opportunities in my pipeline, but some of them were just moved to another quarters. Others were lost too. But for me, the thing that I really implemented was being very selective with the customers that I was working with. Not only with the customers, with the type of contracts that I was selling them. And also, I always want to know what the customer want. So I try to understand what is their need. So I'm trying always that it's not my sale, it's what they are buying, so they have to feel that it's something that they create with me. And if I can do that, usually the results are what you see.
That's a great approach to it, coming at it from a consultative point of view and working together with them so they're part of the sale is huge. And
Exactly.
and I know that you have a great working relationship with a lot of your accounts after you've sold the agreements as well and continue that level of customer service. So that obviously makes a huge difference. And I think that this isn't the first time that you've won the sales contest or at least been in the top 3 with SP Group. Is that correct?
Yes, it is the first time that I won the first prize or the but before, in the last 5 years, I won 2 times the second place and 2 times the fourth place.
Wow. That's
But this
great.
is my first time doing the first one, the
Oh,
first
that's
place.
amazing. That's amazing. So,
Thank you.
I
Let's
mean,
see this year. Let's see this next year.
yeah, exactly. So that's amazing to be in the top 4 that many times. So, are there any things that you have implemented over the years, any best practices that you would mind to share that have led to continued success year over year?
I think that my best practice, the first one, is that I am Team ASI. I believe in the company that I work with. I believe in the services that we can provide, and we are usually in innovation, for our customers. But the best practice that I think that I use is the qualification process, because if I do that very well, I will know how to spend my time with the right customer or to offer them the right offer or service. So, as I told you before, you cannot feel that it's your sale or what you want to sell. You have to hear them, listen them, and try to do that perfect fit for them always. But I think that my best practice belief in the company, belief in the services that we may provide, and also the qualification process. I'm very strict to that. I'm very attached to that, to those 4 questions that I have to do every time that I participate with a customer, and I never go out from that first meeting without those answers, because that gives me the right phase where I am, where I have to go, or maybe this is not the time, or this is not the opportunity, or this is not the right person to talk with, or maybe they have other motivations, or they are only want me price, and usually we're not going to be the cheaper. So um, the only way to add value to the process is knowing what they want.
Right. No, that's great advice. That qualification process is so crucial to the overall process of the
It
sales.
is.
Like you said,
For me,
I mean, you,
it's like a Bible. It's something that I'm very very attached, and I encourage everybody that stick to it, because you can have your own style or your own type of sale, all of that, and with all the products that the company have. But if you don't comply with that, you will invest your time in things that are not gonna go through, maybe in that moment, maybe it can be later, but maybe not now, and you are just losing your time at that point.
absolutely. Yeah, time management is crucial in sales. And you're right, you
Exactly.
don't want to spend, because these processes take a long time for anybody who hasn't worked in maintenance sales before. It takes a long time. It's a long survey, it's a quoting process, it's a proposal process, it's a lot of meetings. And you don't want to invest
Yeah.
that in something that, you could have discovered in the first
If
meeting, isn't going to close. So, yeah.
Exactly. Maybe you want that in February, but maybe they are thinking that at the end of the year. So
Yeah.
you can maybe start calling them back 3 months before of that, or anyway, you have to change the strategy that you have based on the answers that they gave you, or maybe even it's not the right person who's the one that you are talking to, because maybe that person only is gonna take the proposal to other person, but you don't know how it's going to explain, how it's going to sell that proposal that is yours. So
Yeah.
it's a very important step for me.
Of course. Well, I think everything that you just mentioned is extremely valuable and great advice. And I know that you've taken part in a lot of the SP group trainings and seminars over the past few years. Was there one
Yeah.
specific thing that you can think of that was a key takeaway from the sales training with SP group that you've been able to implement?
The first one that I learned, I started with the SP group trainings 10 years ago. Even then, Brad came to Puerto Rico and trained us how to do first calls, or those questions that you have to ask, the script, and anyway, many things. But from that first thing, I got the thing about try to avoid bits, try to avoid the bits process
Yeah.
as something very important. But apart than that, stick to the process and follow all the steps, and you will at the end you will get your sale if you did it right.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, the bid process can be, I don't want to say a waste of time, but it can be a very long process and a lot of time that you invest
Exactly.
uh, in something that, they're not going to go through our typical qualification process or our sales process, right? They're looking for a price and they're looking for it to be in a
Exactly.
certain range, and that's really it. Whereas we want to go in and make sure that we're
Yeah.
actively putting together, like you said, working with them and putting together a program that works for them, that's best for them, and really talking about those overall costs of owning and operating your equipment. Whereas in the bid process, you may not always have the chance to be able to do that. So that's that's
And
also good
at the
advice.
end, Are are some bids that you have to participate because of the customer or the size or anyway, but have to be something strategically selected. That's
Yes.
why the first thing that I told you was that I was being very selective with the customers that I work with. Um, but because you sometimes, at least here, you have to bid some of the works. You don't have any other choice, but you can choose the ones that you have to do that work, all of that paperwork, all of that qualifications, all of that things that they require. Only at the end of the day, you are only a number for them. you are not adding any value usually. So if you choose or you participate in some that you can think that you can add some value in the process, for example, I like to participate in the ones that I see that they are gonna interview the participants, for
Yeah.
example. That after you submit the proposal, you are gonna participate in a meeting. You can do like that verification meeting. Just explain what you include, what you have not included either, or how you will provide that service. You know, for me that's very important. If we see that we can have that opportunity, we will go direct to that process. But if
Yeah.
not, maybe we can think about it.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Do
Yeah.
you find that you get that opportunity to be interviewed very often on bids, or does it not happen very often?
Depending of the type of customer, yes. For
Okay.
example, if it is a private customer, usually that's something that is going to happen because it's
Hmm.
part of the process. They are having a bid because maybe their purchasing department is requiring from them to do in that way. But they have, for example, first a qualification statement that you have to fill and you have to comply and you have to prove that you are a company capable to perform those works. That's the
Yeah.
first thing. And
Hmm.
if you can see in the very early beginning of that processes that you can have uh, maybe not all of the one or all of the participants will have that chance, but I just want to know that maybe that the later two ones, the least two ones, will have that opportunity. And yes, and
Yeah.
it happened. In the government, things happen much less because
Yeah.
they have other ways to do business and they have other parameters to evaluate customers. And at the end of the day, it's price. We know that. But with the private sector, yes, we have that opportunity usually.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Again, great advice for anyone in the maintenance sales world to keep an eye out for. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
I also know that you have a very close knit working relationship with your team. Can you explain how that's helped the sales team grow? Because I know your sales are up over 20% this year. Do you work in team sales settings?
Yes, we work in team sales settings, but
Yeah.
the first thing is that I love my team. I love my teamwork.
Yeah.
I love my sales teams because we are very able to work and share our responsibilities or to share some technical things if we need it.
Hmm.
Usually when I go out, if I see an opportunity that I can share with other one because it's more fit for that other person, of course that I give it to that person. But we have a
Hmm.
strategy called share of the wallet too. That is when you have maybe maintenance for HVAC and you can add some other services to that customer,
Yeah.
maybe power generators or maybe boilers or maybe controls, anyway, many others. You
Yeah.
can, of course, that is an opportunity to share those knowledge or those opportunities with others, not only mine. So
Yeah.
yes, we do that often.
Yeah. I think that's great. That's all part of that consultation with the customer and working with them to build that
Yeah,
program because it makes sense to bring in everybody who's an expert within your organization to help offer them as many services as possible. So I know that you guys do a
exactly.
really great job with that. So I just wanted to commend
Yeah,
you on that and bring that up because
and
I know when I spoke
sometimes,
with Carlos.
yeah, no, sure. And in my case, for example, maybe if I need some technical skills for boilers, for example, that I don't know, and that cell is very, very technical usually, I ask
Yeah,
Jancy and he can come with me. If
right.
I need other thing for controls or for other trade, I can just, call them and they will be with me. Or many times I go with others that feel that I can, share some of my experiences with that customer and I can be value give value to their sale. I usually
Yeah,
go with them too.
yeah. It makes perfect
Yes.
sense to do it that way, and I think that that's a great approach that you and your team take. So
Yeah.
when you're going on these calls on your own or with your team, is there a specific industry that make up the majority of your sales? Like, are you doing a
For
lot of
me,
industrial?
last
Yeah.
for Okay, for me, last year were hospitals and medical device. But
Okay.
hospitals specifically is a market that the company itself is being dedicating many efforts for the last 3 years. So
Right.
it's some market that we are putting many efforts. We are going to their conventions. We are doing networking with them. We are even in the golf tournaments. We are
Okay.
participants. So we are trying to enter to that type of customers because that's a very regulated type of industry too. And we
Yes.
may provide many of our services. As you know, we are a multi-service company. So in the same roof, we can provide boilers, HVAC, we can give maintenance to chillers, or anyway, we can add many more practices probably to that type of market or to customer. So that's
Hmm.
something that we are focused right now. And the last year definitely was hospitals for me.
Yeah. Yeah, when I spoke with Carlos, about
Carlos.
last month, I think it was, he had mentioned that you do
Uh-huh.
such a great job of really, I guess, nurturing those relationships with those specific industries. He had mentioned
Yeah,
that there are times where you'll work with an organization for over a year sometimes to close that deal. It can be a long sales process, but he did mention
it
that you
is.
really make sure that you're embedded in that industry, and I think that that's that's also great to for people to hear as well because these sales don't just happen, overnight. It can
Yeah,
sometimes be a
no,
long process, like you had mentioned, going to those golf tournaments and doing
it
those
is.
networking events. All of those things add up to, long-term potential sales with these customers. Hmm.
Yes, they are. And I think that the average time of sale that I have probably it's 6 months, but most of them, the most complicated, can take 9 months or a year. Most of
Yeah.
them. So because if have many parts that is not only my customer and maybe have some uh, they need some approval maybe from Global or from other matrix offices, that have to be many people with us. That's something that get complicated. And if they need more services, and we try, for example, to give more value of the. Yesterday I was participating in a meeting that the lead was from my one of my coworkers, and I just participated because I was thinking that I can add value to that meeting that he had. And in that moment, I was asking all the questions also, but they tell me maybe they have to go call someone from India, for example, or from other place, that we have to share what we present with them. And if we can just not only provide the HVAC maintenance as the customer asks us, when we end the call, I call my coworker later and I ask him, did you ask him for the other contracts that they have for other trades or for maybe HVAC but specifically for chillers or for cooling towers or for many other trades that maybe we can save them money if they contract us not only for the air handling units, or why you have to keep only for that little part of the business. Maybe is that what the customer want and it's okay with that. We can provide that, but maybe we have other ways to show them how they can save money having those services with us, because we have the chiller mans, we can provide maybe in other frequencies those services too. And when we can do that, that's very very amazing, because we can start providing those customers other type of contract, other type of services. And it's a differentiation from other companies that do what we do, because we cannot be only attached to change filters or clean condensers. We have to
Yeah.
do more things than that. So that's the difference.
For sure. Yeah, it's going to bring more value to them when you have full ownership of their equipment, essentially. When you're
Exactly.
maintaining it completely, yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
not just responsible for changing out filters. I mean, you want to be able to be the people responsible for the overall maintenance and operation of that equipment, and you want to make sure that it's going to operate properly when they need it to. So that
Exactly.
makes the like perfect sense going in and trying to do a one-stop shop, really, right? As many services
Because
as you can build into one.
exactly, because some of them have one contract for the air handling units, another contract for the mini splits, another contract for the chillers, and at the end of the day, they have like 3 or 4 or 5 contracts for the same system, and start the finger pointing. No, 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 it wasn't me. It is the chiller that is not working. No, 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 it wasn't me. It is the controls that doesn't work. No, 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 it wasn't me. The cooling tower that is not working right now. And
Yeah.
when you have that single responsibility under one company, you will avoid in that finger pointing from the first step. So
Yeah.
I try
And
to feel that way.
saving the customer money all around, but mostly on time
It
and
is.
effort that goes into continually calling and organizing
Exactly.
service calls. It's one phone call, it's one point of contact. It makes a huge difference.
Yes.
Absolutely. Hmm. So before I change gears a little bit here and ask you a couple of different questions, I just wanted to kind of finish off on maintenance sales here and just ask you your advice in terms of what do you think it takes to be a successful maintenance sales representative?
I think that the first thing it has to be a listener. Have to hear what the customer want. That's first. It can go there, going talk, 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 and don't hear what the customer have to say. That's the first
Hmm.
thing. And be a team player. That's also important. And be organized. Stick to the process, and be organized with the process that you know that will make it yours and put your personal touch on it, but you have to be stick to the process that you have to follow, because at the end of the day you will have the results.
Yeah, for sure. Organization is key, and having a good system where you're keeping that
Yeah,
information, because you can't keep it all up
it
here,
is.
right? You have to have a
Never.
good process for where you're storing and logging
No.
all that information and being able to share that information with your organization as well. So those are
Yes.
very key areas for sure to be
In my
successful.
case, I even sometimes go to a customer and I have in a side of my notebook or whatever I'm writing the notes, the four the D for decision maker, the sign of money for because I have to ask for the funds where they are gonna come, or I have other one for time. I put a T on it for
Mhm.
only to ask for the timeline, and the fourth anyway I forgot the fourth one, but I always put that on my notes, because maybe in the conversation I forgot to ask something, but
Yeah,
no, you have to go out with that, and if you are not organized, you will not have that uh, information. You will not have
yeah,
that information.
yeah. That's a creative way of doing it, putting the little symbols across the top. I like that.
Yes. I do that, and no one knows what I have there because I only put the D or
Yeah,
the sign of money or the T for time, or
yeah,
that's the only things that I put. But for me, I understand what I want to say.
yeah. No, that's clever. I like that. Um, So, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about as well is I'm a strong proponent of women in the trades, especially in HVAC. And I love that we're currently able to highlight your success as a female in the industry. Do you have any advice for women thinking of joining the trade or working in this field?
I think that we have to be courageous. We
Yeah.
have to be brave. You have to try to think out of the box. We have to persevere. I love what Nicole, for example, shared with us in Colorado. We have fun there. When what she shared with us about her journey, how he get where she is, and you cannot do that without courageous. So for me, that's the best word.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that so I had Carlos on the podcast actually, and we were discussing how Aireko has a number of female sales representatives, technicians, and office employees, which is great. So it's working so well at your organization. Why do you think that women across North America may still be apprehensive to enter this industry?
I think that are probably lack of opportunities for women, probably. And if they don't know what to do or knowledge about the industry, maybe they have fear about what they are doing. So
Mhm.
probably that are the response to your questions. But for me, for example, I'm very excited every time that a woman join our company.
Yeah.
For example, last year HR department in the company promote us to participate in a certification that is named W Certified Companies, in which the companies participate and in our case, we finally have the great news that we were certified as a woman certified company, which means that we are a preferred employer for women, and we were the first construction service company having that award. So anyway, was very 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 great. Also, we create the Aireko Woman Network, in which includes all the women in the company, even the ones that are in U.S. Virgin Islands or the ones that are in Florida, in the company in Florida too. And with them, we provide them with seminars or trainings for leadership, for finances, for life well balance between work and life.
Yeah.
We even try to provide things for social awareness and participate on that. It's a forum that they can speak, or maybe they can share the things that they want to hear in the company or the movement. Is something slow, but at least it's a starting point, you know. It's something that is going to be a journey probably for the following years, but at least right now it's a starting point, so I'm very happy with that.
That's great. I love that. And it's a big starting point. I think that that's amazing
Yes.
to have those seminars and offer that training and have your organization invest in you in that way. I think that that's amazing,
Yeah,
and you're only going to attract more people to come to work for you, and I think that that's great.
exactly.
Um, the award that you received, or the credentials for the is it women owned business, or what is it called? Sorry.
No, 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 no. It's not women owned. It's W certified, women certified company. But it's
Okay.
a company. It's only a certification that come from medical devices, from commercial banks. Anyway, there are many industries in the island competing for the same from the same award, and they
Nice.
send a survey for the women in the company, and you have to fill
Okay.
it. And at the end, they analyze the responses and all of that, and they finally, in our case, they determined that we comply with the certification, and that's something that we are using right now to attract new female talents to the company,
Mhm.
and that's very very powerful because at least at the beginning, when you enter to the company, you will see that oh, they will hear me, they are taking care, or at least they have that leaders and in
Yeah.
the path. So it is very great.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look into that. Do you know if that's across North America? Do you happen to know the?
I don't know, but now in May, I think they are gonna do something in Miami for that
Oh, okay.
because the one that leads that certification it's for Latin America and other countries. So anyway, I
Okay.
know that this year is gonna be there. I can share you some information about it, so maybe you
Yeah.
can have. I invite Nicole to share their experiences
Oh, okay.
um, with us,
Yeah.
with our group too, in the company. Let's see if she can do that.
Yeah, that would be great. Absolutely. Yeah. Well,
Yes.
if you could share that information, that would be amazing. And I can even put a website in the show notes here if anybody else is interested in looking at that
Yeah.
organization, because I think that's great. I
Yes.
was going to
It's
ask
not a
you.
woman. It is not a woman's own because a woman, of course, that Aireko is not a woman owns company, but it's only a certified that you can that you are a preferred employee because you have to pass anyway journeys that make you be better a better employee for those.
Yeah. So it's
It's very
based
good.
on feedback from your current employees, current female employees,
Yeah,
filling out those
exactly.
questionnaires. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's good to know. I was going to ask you if you thought there was anything that other contractors could do to get more women working for their organizations in commercial HVAC, but that would be a great one for people to look into. So I'll definitely put the website in the show notes for people to look
Yes,
into.
I think that they have to be more inclusive.
Yeah.
Um, and try to eliminate some biases, give more education to women, implement the policies of equal pay for equal job, of course,
Hmm.
and make recognitions. And anyway, I think that those ones can be good ones.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's great. Well, thank you so much for that information. Do you have any other additional thoughts or comments or anything else that you'd like to add?
No, I once again thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for this time. I enjoyed a lot. And always thanks to anyway in my case to Javier, to Carlos, to all of them that always support me.
Yeah,
So
of
many
course.
thanks.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show and sharing your story and your advice. And I'm so happy that we're able to highlight you on here and show your success. And again, congratulations on winning the award. And even I was surprised to hear that your total number was over $1.2 million. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of hard work, dedication to get that done, and that's great. I hope you're really proud of
Well,
that. Yeah.
thank you, and I invite other companies. I see from the last years how SP Group develop. Every time that we go to a seminar and you meet other people and look of those that maybe some years ago I see them like sales consultants and they are now maybe operations managers. So they grew in
Yeah.
their career too. So also here that they have the same problems or the same challenges that we have here because we are geographically different, and
Yes. Yeah.
from other SP group members. So it's very great.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you as part of
Thank you.
the team. And your team is always active participants in all of the events, all the seminars. Everybody from your team is great. They always have good advice to bring to the table. So we love having you as part of the team, and we look forward to this year. I wish you
Thank you.
good luck with your sales numbers for this year. I guess you're
Thank
off
you.
and running. It's February now, so yeah, wish you the
Thank
best of
you.
luck with that.
Yes. We start already.
Get after it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much. And thank you to all of our listeners as well. Be sure to check out the links that are in the show notes for Aireko as well as for the women's certification. And I will also link the service professionals website. Please keep an eye on that for any upcoming podcasts that we have each month. So thank you to all our listeners, and thank you, Vanelis.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. Good luck too. Bye bye. See you then.